Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Qwad here, and today I'm going to talk to you guys about my experience of playing World War II over at E3. So if you guys weren't aware of this, when I went over to Anaheim for MLG Anaheim, I also had the opportunity to be able to go to E3 to be able to play Call of Duty World War II, and I also got to look at a bunch of other new games and had the opportunity to play a bunch of them too. Now, if you guys heard me talking about it in some previous videos, you probably know a little bit of the backstory, but basically what happened was one of my neighbors was able to hook me up with a ticket to E3, which I'm extremely thankful for, and so I was able to go there while I was in Anaheim, and it took a lot of money for me to be able to go all the way from Anaheim to LA, but it was extremely worth it. That's why I only went for one day though, rather than going for all the other days, because the Uber and or Lyft was just way too much otherwise. But for this one day, I showed up around just before the doors were opening to the public. I was able to get in there. I was literally the 5th person in line for the World War II beta, and then they basically told us that we had to just sit around and we couldn't be waiting in line there because it was right in front of the entrance, and I guess it was a bit of a fire hazard. They didn't want people like going out in the middle of the hallway and stuff like that. Which kind of makes sense, but it was kind of annoying because they didn't open up the doors for World War II until an hour after the doors were open to the public. So there were so many people that were just waiting to go play World War II anyways, and I would have been one of the first people to get to play it. But you guys could probably tell that the VIPs, that were people like Hutch and Nanners and Lachlan and Allier and Vicstar and Pamaj, and people like that were able to all get in there first, which makes sense. And they also were able to play 3 games. But I ended up waiting for a good 4 hours because they kicked us all out of the line, and then we had to just rush to the line as soon as we saw it forming. So that was a bit of a pain. But real quick, since I mentioned the VIPs, this gameplay that you guys are seeing in the background is Pamaj's. So I want to thank him so much for having that available out here. I did not get his direct permission, but I hope that it's alright because I did meet him and he seems like a really cool guy. I didn't really think it was worth the hassle of going on Twitter and trying to ask him for the gameplay because I know he's a busy guy, he has a lot of followers, and we don't follow each other, so I didn't have the opportunity to DM him. I don't think it's a big deal personally, so I hope that it's alright, and you guys should definitely go check out Pamaj if you don't know him already. He's a member of Optic, the only sniper left, the only one remaining, and he's such a great guy, such a great player, so you guys should go check him out. If I remember to, I'm going to try to make sure that I link him down in the description below. And anyways, moving on with this, so I was waiting in line for a good 4 hours, which obviously took up most of the day at E3, so I was having to not get to do that much more, but there was some other cool stuff that I had the opportunity to do, such as going to visit the Gamma Labs booth, which they end up having one at Anaheim also, which I wasn't aware was going to be happening, but I got to taste test all of the Gamma flavors over at E3 first, which was pretty cool. I'm honestly debating on whether I want to get Gamma or not. It's not even that expensive. It's really just the hassle of like going and waiting for the order and stuff. As you guys can see here, I still have my FaZe shaker cup that I got from MLG Anaheim because they basically had a really nice deal where they were half off for the shakers, and if you bought a shaker cup, you get free refills the entire time. So anyways, I'm going to go talk to you guys about World War II some now that I have pretty much most of that story out of the way. So World War II gameplay wise is honestly one of the best games that I've seen from Call of Duty all the way since Black Ops 2, I would say, and honestly I would say it's about on par with that. Now, I only had a 2-game sample size, so you got to take a grain of salt with what I'm saying here, because I don't know about you guys, but whenever I go to play a new game, I think that it is amazing. It's just that new factor that makes it seem like it's a lot better than you actually enjoy it. So I'm hoping it's not really like that with World War II, but just looking back at how it compares to other games, I'd say it's kind of a mix between a World at War gameplay, obviously, because it's a World War II based game, but it's kind of hard to like feel it out. It feels like it has a little bit of World at War in it, has even a little bit of Black Ops 1 without the sway, anything like that, maybe even a little bit of Ghost if I had to compare it to that. But personally, I didn't really like Ghost that much, but I think that this is a lot better than Ghost. I'm just trying to like find little comparisons. So as you guys might have been able to tell from some of the gameplay, the sniper is extremely powerful and it does have aim assist. So I'm going to actually have a little bit of a Q&A as I'm going through this, because I basically tweeted as soon as I finished playing the game, and also a little bit prior to making this video, about asking me questions that anyone had about the game, because I figured that would be good to include in the video and just to help people out in general with all of that. So John asked me if there's any aim assist, and as I just said, there is aim assist. It's actually pretty strong. It's basically the same aim assist as you get on every single game other than Black Ops 3. And Infinite Warfare also has some instances where it does not have aim assist with certain rifles. But with the Springfield, which is the only rifle that I was using for this beta, the Springfield does definitely have a strong aim assist on it, and it is a consistent one-shot kill, which is definitely a plus for this game. Since I mentioned that I was only using the Springfield, I will go and explain how E3 worked with all the class system. Basically, there was 10 classes that they had pre-made for us, and there was the Scope Springfield and the Unscoped Car 98, which were the only 2 snipers that were available from that list, so that's definitely one thing that kind of limited it some. But Matthew asked me if there's only going to be 2 sniper rifles. Right now, those are the only 2 confirmed ones, but I can guarantee you that there will definitely be more sniper rifles. That's just all we were available to play at E3. Now moving on, Scope asked me if there are any downsides or anything that I believe that snipers will not like for the game. And if I had to pick anything out of that, I would definitely say that it would be the time to kill in general. Obviously that is a plus for snipers, but it's also a plus for everything else. The explosives just seemed extremely powerful. All the full auto and semi-auto assault rifles and submachine guns and stuff of that nature seemed like they had an extremely powerful time to kill also. It just went by really quickly. So those are definitely some downsides that there are to World War II for snipers. But for the pure sniper gameplay, there aren't really that many downsides. Another thing that I would have to say that is definitely negative for snipers is only pertaining to these 2 snipers though, since these are the only ones we know about. They are really slow. And this kind of moves on into another question where Sly asked me if we can hit a multi, which is not a possibility with the snipers we have right now, mainly because these snipers in other games even have always been traditionally slow. We don't know if there will be any semi-auto snipers or any gas action snipers which could be a little bit faster, such as the PTRS from World at War. But if you even look at these guns on World at War, I'm pretty sure the Springfield and the Car 98 were at the very least extremely hard to stack with. Personally, I did not stack any outside of one collateral that I did hit, and I will add this in also. I was able to hit a collateral with 2 body shots, which I know there have been other ones like Pamaj hit an All-Pro with his gameplay, but just the fact that I was able to hit a collateral with 2 body shots and not any headshots, that just goes to prove that they didn't pull a Raven software as they did with MWR with this game, just because with Raven, if you didn't know about this, MWR had an issue with collaterals where basically unless you got an All-Pro or you just got extremely lucky and they were extremely damaged, you wouldn't have been able to get a collateral in the game. So I'm assuming the people were pretty high health, there's no way to tell for sure, but I was able to get a collateral that were both on body shots. So that definitely makes this game look like it's going to be for the better for that instance. But also kind of pertaining to the stacking question is Colton asking if we can YY. And obviously you can YY, but I would think that he's mainly asking if we can use YY to stack. And with that, I am not completely sure, because that is just one thing that I didn't necessarily try to go for, just because that I did have 2 games to play, and that is, like, if you look at it in the big scope of things, that's such a little amount of time to actually be able to play the game. So I just made sure that I was just playing it like as much as possible. I wasn't trying to like look for all these little hidden features within the game, if you guys can understand all of that. And that kind of leads me into Ace Round's question, which is what about trick shotting? And personally, I'm not a trick shotter, so I didn't really try anything with trick shotting. I was running around the map, so probably the only thing that I could have been able to find would have been if there were bounces, and I didn't see any, but I definitely wouldn't take that out of the situation of being in the game. But then again, if there are bounces, I definitely do think that they would end up patching them, just looking at how Raven Software dealt with MWR and basically getting rid of 99% of the bounces that were in that game. But for NACs and insta swaps and stuff of that nature, I have no idea, honestly, so you guys would have to go and try that out for yourselves at the beta. Moving on to the last question that I got is from Slated, and is asking how ready I am to grind World War II. And honestly, even just the beta, I'm just extremely ready to just like give this game my all. Hopefully I'll be like an amazing player at it again. If not, I'll definitely still be grinding, trying to hit some nice clips, trying to stream as much as possible, trying to make as many videos for you guys as I can, and just trying to make this game as good for myself and all of us as possible, because I hope that this will be basically the Call of Duty that helps revive the game, because let's be honest, Call of Duty's fallen off a good bit and it definitely needs to pick me up. So hopefully this video did help you guys out with finding out a few things that you might not have known before about World War II. I really hope that you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, please make sure that you hit that like button. If you want to see more videos from me, make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you want to see the videos right as they get uploaded, make sure you turn on notifications. It's that little bell that is right next to the subscribe button. If you guys want to catch any of my live streams, make sure to go and follow me on Twitch. I primarily stream on there. I sometimes stream on YouTube, but it's not really that often, especially since I'm now an affiliate on Twitch. And if you guys want any updates, live streams, videos, and just what's going on with me in general, make sure that you go follow me on Twitter. All of those links will be down in the description, along with Pamaj's links, hopefully. Thank you so much again for that gameplay. He did an amazing job playing with it, and he also got that All-Pro, which was honestly insane. Just to think that he had that All-Pro in 3 games. I could only imagine if someone hit something like a triple or a sniper quad feed or something of that nature, because that would have just been absolutely disgusting. I'm waiting to see what all of us do for the beta. I'm really looking forward to it. But anyways, I hope that you guys did enjoy this video. This has been Qwad. I'll see you guys later.